Welcome back to Afternoon Live. If you are looking for a rich chocolatey treat, we have the perfect recipe for you. Here to share her flourless chocolate tahini brownies, we welcome culinary educator, co-host of Food Friends podcast, and author of Braids, Sonya Sanford. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Gosh, you're busy.
I am busy.
Books and podcasts, and how fun is that though? You just get to focus on food all the time.
Yeah, I love food and storytelling, so it's a good fit.
Tell me about what got you into this type of work. Your kind of culinary history is really important to you.
Yeah, I started out as a private chef working with families, and from there, because I had before that been in food and television and film, the two sort of combined into food media. So I've always loved storytelling, and I've always loved food and cooking, and books and a podcast are a really good fit.
How awesome. Okay, let's talk about this gorgeous recipe we have today.
Yeah. So these are grain-free, flourless chocolate tahini brownies. I'm gonna start by melting the chocolate and butter together. So I'm using a really good quality 70% cocoa.
Okay.
You could use a bar. I'm using discs. These are Valrhona, which is an amazing chocolate, but actually you can find very good quality dark chocolate almost anywhere.
Oh, good.
I recommend above 60% for something like this because you want the chocolate to shine.
Really,
and you don't want it to be too sweet.
But that quality is going to make a big difference in the final product.
Even if it's a little pricier, because there's so few things in this recipe, that's the thing to invest in.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I'm also adding just regular unsalted butter, and we're going to melt those down. It will happen really quickly. You can also do this in a microwave. I'm using what's called a double boiler, which is just a heat-proof bowl over some steaming water in a pot. But again, you could do this in the microwave, and you just want to get this melted.
Okay.
Yeah, so that takes
it's already coming together. It's so quick.
Fast.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, we'll make our batter. But again, this was sort of like something I started making around Passover, which is coming up in April, which is a holiday where we don't eat any grains besides matzah. So you're always looking for desserts that don't have grains. But also, this is a great year-round thing for someone who is gluten intolerant or just wants to cut back on flour, and you don't miss it in this recipe. Because for me, it's important to find recipes where it's not just faking something, it's actually good on its own.
There you go. Yeah, which brings you back to the quality of ingredients. And do you also have a dairy-free option in this recipe as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you can absolutely use a dairy-free butter, any kind that you like, and the eggs are the only thing that you can't swap out. Okay. But that's the only dairy in the recipe because the chocolate is also dairy-free.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we have so many great markets and places in Portland where you can find such good stuff.
Such good
for whatever
dairy-free
your
butter.
adventure is in your culinary journey.
And if you're really in a pinch, you could even use coconut oil. But the thing is, the butter or the non-dairy butter has a flavor that's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like seconds away from being done. And
the color of that is so gorgeous.
It gets so glossy so fast. You saw how dull it was when it went in, and it just really lifts up when it's melted with some butter.
And tell me about putting tahini in this recipe.
Yeah, so tahini is just ground sesame seeds, and it has such a nice nutty flavor. And again, these are good. These brownies are great without any tahini. You can make it without, or you can make it with peanut butter. But tahini to me is a nice savory, nutty note. I like my desserts a little less sweet. If you're more into like a sweeter dessert, a peanut butter might be better here. But if you're kind of like me and you like that savory note and maybe even a little salt, you know, that's my finishing touch. Love a little salt,
especially with a nice dark chocolate. It's the perfect marriage.
So this is done. It's all set, and then we're just gonna put this in a bowl. And the other thing I love about this recipe is it's a one bowl dessert. We're not getting out a mixer, we're not getting out any electric equipment.
Perfect.
And I always think that's just nice to have on hand in your recipe deck, you know?
Perfect,
something that's quick. And then I'm gonna add regular white sugar, and that got a little clumpy. And then some brown sugar and some salt. You definitely want salt. It's just gonna bring out the flavor. It's not gonna taste salty.
Right, a little pinch of salt just kind of gives it more depth.
Exactly. And then I'm just whisking that together, breaking up these little clumps.
I like that cool whisking tool that you have there. That's cool.
I really do like this whisk. You can find them online or at like culinary stores, and they're really great for beating eggs in particular.
And you can kind of smush it down all those little bits and pieces.
I just find it's easier sometimes than a giant, huge whisk.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna add eggs. The other thing about this recipe is the specifics are sort of important, so I do say add room temperature eggs.
Oh, okay.
and I add them one at a time.
Okay.
And this is important to the consistency of the brownie. It's not just something that's fussy.
Yep.
But a good trick is if you don't have room temperature eggs and you get a little warm tap water in a bowl and you put your egg in it for a few minutes, it will come up to, that's all you need to do.
Oh, I love that.
So if you're like, oh, I forgot, but I really want brownies right now, you can do that hack.
I cannot wait for these eggs to come to room temperature.
I hate having to wait, don't
I cannot possibly wait.
All right, so that was one egg, and then we incorporate the second egg.
I mean, it's looking like a perfect brownie. Like, I'm not looking for flour in here.
No. But we do want a little bit of heft to this.
Right.
So that's gonna come in next. And what we're gonna add is an extra level of chocolate and a little bit of, you know, what the flour gives us, which is it brings it all together.
Okay,
it helps
perfect.
it hold its shape. So what we're gonna add in is potato starch.
Oh.
You could use cornstarch.
Okay.
At Passover, we don't eat grains, so potato starch is a great swap because corn is a grain.
That's a great idea.
But if you don't want potato starch, just get some cornstarch. And I like to sift it just to make sure there's no clumps, but this isn't essential.
Okay, and we're gonna speed through because we have about a minute left.
And
we
then
can get this
some
done.
Dutch cocoa, and then you just add that in.
Yes.
And then the key thing is to really vigorously stir this together until it's nice and shiny. And then once you vigorously beat it, it will start to come away from the bowl.
Okay.
And then you can add your batter to your brownie pan, cake pan, any 8-inch pan, even a disposable tin.
Beautiful.
And then what you do is you take your tahini.
Oh, okay.
So we're just gonna flatten this out real quick.
Oh, and we're gonna get this done just in time. We're perfect.
Then you're gonna take your tahini and you're gonna spoon it over the brownie mixture. Oh. And you want this tahini to be cold, otherwise it tends to separate.
Okay.
And then you just take a knife or a toothpick and you make fun swirls.
Love that.
In whatever directions you like.
Okay.
You pop that in the oven and we have one ready to go.
Yes, I'm so excited to see the finished product now. Oh, look at that. That looks so beautiful.
And there is your finished brownie.
That's a showstopper right there.
And you can get really decorative with your swirls.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'm coming in for a bite.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
This one's still warm too.
And a little flake salt on top when it comes out of the oven.
Chocolate, 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 and that little touch of nuttiness. Thank you so much. It was great to meet you.
Great to meet you. Thanks for having me.
So delicious. The book again is Braids, and we'll have this recipe and more information about Sonya, including how to find her book and podcast, all on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.